Okay, as I'm sure as many of you are aware, A-level results released last week, and for those of you who got the grades that you wanted, you'll be looking forward to going off to university. But for many of others of you, the future may not be so clear. Also, with the number of university places being reduced, many students are being left thinking what to do next. In fact, more than 170,000 students are facing rejection from university this year, which is 40,000 more than last year. So what do you do if you're in this position? A new results day guide has been published by notgoingtouni.co.uk, designed to help you make the informed decision about your future. Sarah Clover from Not Going to Uni is on the line now. So, hello there, Sarah.
Hello.
So this free guide's been put together with help from Peter Jones from Dragon's Den, and shows that not going to university isn't the end of the world. So,
well, we sincerely hope so.
Yeah. So, what kind of like tips does it give in this guide to those who aren't getting to uni?
Well, the guide exists not only for those who haven't got the grades or for some reason haven't managed to get their place at university, but just for young people who've decided that university isn't necessarily the best option for them. So it should contain a good overview of a wide variety of different things you can do, such as vocational training, distance learning, employer-funded study, gap year options. There's even stuff in there about clearing, what to do if you did get the grades and you are going to university, and our top 10 tips to surviving results day itself.
Okay, so when did you do A-levels when you were at school?
I didn't actually. I left school after my GCSEs, much to the dismay of my teachers. They very much wanted me to continue on to do my A-levels and then go on to university, because I was, and hopefully still am, academically bright enough. But because the subjects that I would have been interested in to that sort of level were basically English and history, and I didn't want to be a teacher, I didn't really see the point in going to university and studying. So I actually joined the British Gas Apprenticeship scheme back in 1991 and trained and worked as a service engineer.
Okay, so I'm sure that must have worked out quite well, because being an apprentice is also a good option for many of those who aren't going to university.
Apprenticeships and other kinds of vocational training offer a fantastic alternative to uni, because you get paid while you're learning, and there's also a very good chance that you will end up with a job at the end of it. Around 80% of apprentices, upon completion of their apprenticeship, will be entering employment, or they will be in training of sort of some other kind. So it is actually a very good way to go.
Okay, so that's one choice. So if, like, for example, you don't go to university, you could do apprenticeship. What other choices would there be to people?
Well, there's some great options at the moment. There are ways to get a degree for free, such as employer-funded study. But Logica, if I'm allowed to name such an organisation, offer a fantastic programme where you will basically be employed, and they will fund you to do a degree in business management. So after 3 years, you've got your qualification, you're earning while you're learning, and you've not incurred any debt. Or you could go down the distance learning route, because that's a fraction of the cost of attending a full-time degree course at university. And obviously, because of the flexible way that you can learn, it also allows you to get some hands-on practical skills. You can actually work while you're doing it, and again, you don't incur the substantial debt. Also, with a lot of the distance learning options, if you actually investigate, you will find that it's you pay basically based on your earnings. So for younger people, they will often get things at a dramatically reduced cost.
Okay, so yeah, because I'm probably in the position of many others out there, because I'm getting my A-level results as well, and I'm not sure, to be honest, if I want to go to university, because one of the reasons that I'm not sure is like you've been mentioning, there's the debts of going to university, because all the fees and everything. Because I think not going to university might be a good choice for some people.
That's what we're hearing from an awful lot of people, actually. It quite saddens me that when I go out to careers events, or I go into schools, or we get contacted via the website, a lot of young people will say that they almost felt duped because they were told to go to university, so they've done as they were told, and all they've come out with it really is a substantial debt. And with the graduate marketplace being as grim as it is at the moment, and the battle being there for jobs, it's not necessarily the best way to go, unfortunately. I would never say it's a con, but I do think that young people need to be aware of the marketplace that awaits them when they do graduate. Yeah,
because it's also like choosing, like if you go to university, you want to do something which can get you a job that people who aren't graduates can't get, I suppose, because like if you go to university and then come out with a degree and go into, like, I don't know, management or something, which other people have gone into anyway, it's like you're in the same position as them, but you've got £15,000 debt.
Absolutely so. You've hit the nail on the head. I mean, for anybody who did want to study, wanted to get into management, business management, I would definitely say look at the employer-funded study, or look at somewhere like Tesco's. They have a 12-month fast-track management scheme, and so you can join after you've got your A-levels, and they will basically progress you at lightning speed so that you've got a great job and you're getting paid while you're doing it. And one of the board of directors at Tesco's actually joined the organisation via that scheme. So it's proof that you can take it as far as you want.
Yeah. Okay. So other than tips of what the options you have after A-levels, what else is in the guide?
What else is in the guide? Well, mainly it's case studies, so that you can actually see the experience of young people. All of the case studies in there have been supplied by themselves, have been written themselves, so that you can actually get a good idea of their experience and why you should take certain types of training, because obviously it's all well and good somebody who's several years older than you saying, right, this is a great way to go, but to actually sort of read it from one of your contemporaries, it gives you a much better understanding, and you can decide whether it's going to work for you or not.
Okay, so what would you say is the main aim of this guide?
The main aim of the guide is probably the main aim of not going to uni as a whole, really, and that is to allow young people to make an informed decision about their choices after careers, or after college, or school. Because at the end of the day, when you get your results, you're making decisions that are going to affect possibly the rest of your life, and could also get you into a substantial amount of debt if you decide to go to university. So the guide is basically there to just give a good overview of the options that are out there. For anybody that does want to go to university, we would never try and stop them, and I do believe that uni is a perfectly valid option for a lot of people. It's just that dropout rates remain close to 1 in 4, so nearly 25% of young people aren't completing their course. It's obviously not suited to them, so why not show them other ways that that may work better? Yeah,
because I'm planning to go to university next September. Mm-hmm. Well, not just September 2011. I was thinking, because I'm not totally sure what I wanted to do, I thought that taking a gap year might be a good idea.
Gap years are actually a great idea. There's also loads of great ways that you can do that. There's an organisation called Latitude Global Volunteering, and they have fantastic sort of options. You can get some really interesting experiences depending on how far you want to take it. You can actually work in refugee camps in Africa. You can go over to Japan and work in medical centres, or you could just go and do something more like sort of teaching in Ecuador or something like that. But they have a great range of opportunities, and what they also have at Latitude is a bursary scheme. So they have financial assistance available to young people to top up any costs, or even cover any costs entirely, to allow you to get that experience. Or you could look at something like Shaker Bar School. If you want to impress people and learn how to make cocktails, go along to Shaker, do your flair bartending week-long course. It will cost you some money, but once you've done that, you're then equipped to go and work your way around the world. The Shaker graduates are the sort of people who work on the cocktail bars on cruise ships. These are the people who work in the top hotels. In fact, a Shaker graduate was recently announced International Bartender of the Year. So, if you want to get some skills and, pay your way around the world, then that's a good way to go. If you're into winter sports, there's the International Academy. You could do your ski or snowboard instructor training, and pay your way around that way. So, there's loads of great things that you can do.
Yeah, okay. So basically, what you're saying, the opportunities are pretty much endless, aren't they, for people?
Yes, and that's why we do say, don't panic. I do understand that it must be very difficult for young people, because I know what it was like for me when I was at school. It's just I had 16 years of being told basically to go to university, and when I thought, well, I don't want to do that, it was silent. I was on my own. Nobody offered me any information. I had to go and find out myself. So what we like to do at Not Going to Uni is take that hassle away from the young people, present all of the options, and let you decide for yourselves what you want to do, rather than going to uni just because it's the only thing that you know about.
Yeah. So, one thing we haven't mentioned is how can people get the guide?
how can people get the guide? The guide is available free to download from our website.
Okay.
And it's also, you can print it off and distribute it. It's actually often used by careers advisors, bizarrely, in careers guidance lessons. But that's great, because at least it means that young people are seeing the other things they can do.
Yeah. Oh, you mentioned career advisors. That's one thing I was thinking about, because I've noticed from my years being in school and A-level, I've noticed, I think schools, they don't offer nearly enough careers advice or guidance, because sadly this is something that I do hear on a regular basis. Yeah.
And careers guidance at schools definitely needs to be improved to ensure that people are aware of all of the ways that they can achieve their goals, rather than forcing them down the academic route. Recently, I had one amazed 16-year-old tell me that they didn't even know that apprenticeships existed anymore. They genuinely believed them to have been like a relic of a bygone age, and said that there was no mention of apprenticeships at all during careers advice at their school. And it's like, that's a way that you can gain a qualification, get paid while you're doing it, and not get any debt. Surely they should be telling young people about this.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think in my the year I've been at A-levels, I've spoken. There was a lady who came in from Connections, who are like career advisors. I spoke to her for like literally 5 minutes, and that's all the advice I've been given.
And that's it. You have to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life
from 5 minutes.
Off the back of a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah.
You see, that's not really very fair. One of the things that we do as an organisation is we do go out and we visit schools and colleges, and we do give presentations to young people, just so that they can see, and if needs must, we're quite happy to throw the teachers out of the room so that people can actually ask us the questions that they want to, because we're aware that a lot of people are under a lot of pressure from their teachers, from parents or careers advisors to go to school, and a lot of them don't like to speak about it. Mm-hmm. So get rid of the teachers, get the doors closed, and it's amazing, once you start speaking to young people about all of the different things that they could do, quite a few of them decide that actually going to university is probably not what they want to do after all.
Yeah.
But if we hadn't been in there, and if we hadn't shown them that, they would never know. They would just go to university, rack up the debt, come out with a degree, and then have to fight to get a job like everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Oh, no problem at all. It was a pleasure.
Okay, thank you. So, that was Sarah Clover from notgoingtouni.co.uk, a great website for those unsure of what to do after A-levels. So, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you, Rose. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.